And we are live. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another daily Disney discussion. And today is finally Friday. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really glad that it's Friday. I think the cabin fever is really starting to get to me. I'm ready to get out, go do something, drive around, go anywhere at this point. I need to get out of the house. Hopefully you guys do too. But welcome in another daily Disney discussion. And today we're going to have a good time. This one's going to be a little bit more probably slow paced, I'm sure, because today we're going to head over to Epcot. We're finally out of Magic Kingdom. And we're going to talk about what I consider to be an overlooked show for sure. And we're going to talk, of course, about the American Adventure over in Epcot. And we'll get to that in just a minute. Quick mousekeeping, we're going to talk obviously about Dean over at the Live Place at liveplace.com. Family friendly streams throughout the week. Be sure to check him out. Dean is the TV guide of live streams. Be sure to check out Dean. He's such a great supporter of this community. Our two partner channels are Disney Dan and Steve's World. Check those guys out. Dan just posted another Food Friday today. Check that one out. And of course, he goes live tomorrow night with Disney Fiasco. And right after Disney Fiasco are Steve and I tomorrow night. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL schedule that just released this week. Kind of get back on sports talk a little bit. But most of the show is going to be about the reopening of Disney Springs and the reopening of Shanghai. We're going to really bring our opinions and thoughts and predictions on a few things that deals with the states here. So I hope you guys can join us for tomorrow night's show. It's going to be a really good one, I think. We got a lot of information. It's going to pose a lot of questions, I think. And I think it's something you're probably going to see a lot of because, Disney Springs is going to be reopening soon. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. But let's say hi to everybody in the chat because we got tons of people here, and I'm glad you're all here. Thank you for being here for sure. Let's see, we got Eric Newman's in the house. Eric, good to see you. There's Brian Eisenhart, one of our members, buddy. Good to see you, Brian. Hope you're doing good, bud. He says the neat thing about American Adventure is that it's really two shows in one. Of course, the Voices of Liberty and the American Adventure Show. There you go. And we'll talk a little bit about that for sure. Let's see, James Ryan, another one of our members. James, hope you're doing well, buddy. Good to see you. Russ Stapleton, another one of our members. Russ, good to see you as well. America, spread your golden wings. Yep, it's a good song too, for sure. Rhiannon's in the house. Hi, Rhiannon. How's Toby? How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well down under. Good to see you, dear. Amy AGC Magic TV is here. Melissa Gover is here. First time in the chat for her. She must be new here. Just kidding. G. Wilson's in the house. G. Wilson, good to see you. It's Feel Good Friday. Yes, it is. Thank goodness. Hey, Melissa, got my postcard and buttons today. Thank you so much. Oh, Ross, good. Good. I hope you got it. And everybody else that's a member, you'll be getting yours soon, too, as well. I think we're up to date. It should be there Tuesday. Brian, thank you for that, buddy. You certainly didn't have to send us anything, but we are very honored and thankful for that, bud. So thank you for sending it. We always love Magic Mail, but we never forget you. We always thank you on stream or in a video. But thanks, buddy. We'll be looking for it for sure. But let's talk a little bit about the American Adventure. Now, I have to admit, Melissa and I have probably done this once, I think, maybe once. Voices of Liberty, which I consider a different show. Brian kind of said it's two shows in one. I kind of consider it a different show because I can do the Voices of Liberty and not step foot in the American Adventure. And vice versa. I could go straight into the American Adventure and not listen to the Voices of Liberty. So to me, I see them as two different shows for me, in my opinion. I don't know about what you guys think. Let me know in the chat what you think. But for me, they're different shows. But as for the American Adventure, it actually was a opening day attraction, October 1st, 1982. Shelly Starwalker is here. Good to see you, Shelly. Everybody say hi to Shelly. Good to see you for one of the daily Disney discussions. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. But it was an opening attraction in 1982 when the park opened October 1st, which was really neat. I didn't realize it had been around that long. And I want to see who in the chat, without looking, because I didn't know this. I was actually surprised by this. How many people do you think they can fit in that theater? I was actually really surprised by this. But how many people do you think they can fit in that American Adventure pavilion or in that American Adventure theater to watch the show? I was actually really shocked by this. see if anybody gets it in the chat. But it's a fun show. It talks about America, the history, some of the Ben Franklin's there. I got to be honest with you guys. I was so tired that day. I fell asleep for some of it, but not all of it. Melissa fell asleep for the entire thing. Isn't that terrible? We're terrible. But it's not that we don't like it. We love it. It's a really good show. I really think it's a good show. It's just we didn't stay awake for the whole thing. I know what you guys are going to be thinking. I can't believe they wouldn't stay awake for it, but we did not. But it's still good what I saw of it. But let's see here. 600 James says 1,000. Amy says, and basically, Amy, you're right. It's 1,000, a little over 1,000, 1,024. That's way more than I expected. I did not think it sat that many people. It sits a ton of people. Oh, Brian, you didn't have to do that, buddy. Thank you so much. A commemorative coin. That's fantastic, dude. Thank you so much. Russ says, I enjoyed the show for the AC and the good animatronics. I prefer it to Hall of Presidents as a show. It's a good history show. It is a really good history show. I like the fact that what's really neat about this is you'd see different sets during the show, and all of them come from underneath the ground. They all come up. Like when they bring up the Statue of Liberty, hand holding the flame, and you got the I think who's on there? Isn't that terrible? I want to say it's, oh my god, isn't that terrible? I can't think of who's on there. I think it's Ben Franklin and Samuel Clemens, or I can't know. I don't remember who it is, but I think it's fantastic that they bring the different scenes up on that stage. It's amazing. The entire theater itself is beautiful. I think that part of it is beautiful. It's a good show. It is a history lesson, and it's about, let's see here. Let's see how long it is. It's almost a half an hour show. It's a 28-minute show. That's pretty long for a show, for sure. Amy says, I love this show. We don't see it every trip because of timing of the show. Yeah, that's true. And not only that, it's a very long show. 30 minutes for any one show is a pretty long time. But it's really a good show. I love the animatronics. I love the music in it. It's really a lot of fun. Brian says, I grabbed a dozen of them when DC opened. I had a few to give away. Thanks, Brian. We appreciate that, buddy. Mark Twain. Okay, so it's Mark Twain. Okay, so Mark Twain and Ben Franklin are at the top there. It's neat. It's really neat. I would love to be able to see, and I don't know if they have one of those backstage tours that allow you to see below the stage and to see all that. I would absolutely love to see that kind of stuff for sure. Meredith and Rhonda, the Philly crew, another one of our members is here. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. Good show last night. Sorry we missed a little bit of it. We were on another stream. But we had fun with that stream last night. And Mark Twain animatronic actually smokes his cigar. That's crazy. That is really crazy. But it's neat. That's really neat. Let's see what else. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. But I want to hear from you guys. How often would you do this show? See, to me, when I'm thinking about this show, The American Adventure, and I compare it to other shows throughout, even if you just want to keep it to Epcot, but throughout Walt Disney World, it's not one of the first shows that I think of. It's not one of my top shows. It's not a show that I say to people when they ask me, what's a good show to go see at Walt Disney World? The American Adventure doesn't pop to the top of the list for me. Lion King, Nemo, Beauty and the Beast, those types of shows come up first. And why do you guys think that is? Is it because it's just not, it's not as entertaining, or it's because it's a history lesson more than it is an entertaining show? Or why do you think that might be? I'm curious, because for me, it doesn't come to the top of the list when people ask me, what should I watch as a show? I want to know what you guys think. Would this be something that does pop into your heads? Because for me, it doesn't necessarily do that when people ask me. And I get that a lot. They always ask, what are the must-do shows? Because we're limited on time. I don't know that I would list this one as a must-do, but that's just me. I think Melissa's phone is going off in her office. Melissa's office is off to the left here. So hopefully that'll stop in a second. But I want to know what you guys say. James says, let's see what it says here. James says, I always have been appreciative of the fact that the show opens with the host recognizing veterans. That and the flag retreat at Magic Kingdom are special to all of us who served. Absolutely, 100% agree. I agree, James. Very good point, bud. To Philly for Ron and Meredith say, I love this show. Sometimes the timing doesn't work out. Yes, the timing doesn't work out. And that's the thing. But then, like for us, the timing, for certain shows are not all day either, but we'll make sure we make the time to see shows. This isn't one of those for us that we're going to make the time to see. Brian says probably because it's a history lesson. Yeah, and that could be part of it. Look, part of the reason why I don't spend a lot of time in Project Tomorrow in Spaceship Earth, or why I don't go over to um, the Seas with Nemo and Friends, they have all that area with the aquarium and all that, is because if I want to go see an aquarium, I'll go see an aquarium. I don't. I'm in Disney. I don't. That's not what I want to do. I'm not there for that. The same with the Project Tomorrow. All that kind of stuff. I just bypass all that because I can get that in other places. And you're right. That might be why. That could be why, Brian. Russ says I do it about every other year. I especially go in there when there is for Christmas because of the Voices of Liberty. Then I decide to stay or go depending on what I'm doing. Yes, exactly. I agree 100%. Most likely because it's being more of a history lesson. Yeah, I agree, Amy. Brian said the same thing. I agree. I think that's part of it as well. But it's really too bad. I think it's history that we sometimes let get lost. I think history is a subject that we have less and less of in this country, and I don't want to get off into a tangent on this. And I think that a lot of times our history needs to be remembered, good and bad. So for one, because we don't want to repeat it in a lot of ways. The old saying. What's the old saying? Is if you ignore history, you're bound to repeat it, or something like that. We don't want to do that. We want to remember our history, good and bad. But obviously it's Disney, so it's all going to be the good stuff, which is great and should be because we've had so much, over the years progress and development. It's amazing. Brian says Mr. Lincoln in Disneyland is the same way, not too popular, but it's very historic. Oh yeah, it's too bad. I think these shows should be more popular for sure. Amy says if we are in the area and a show will be getting ready to start, we will see the show because the singers do a pre-show. Interesting. There you go. All right, let's see. Being honest, we really do not make it around to all of the countries in Epcot. I know we are missing out. Well, really, gee, Russell, I'm surprised by that. We make it. We make a day of Epcot, at least one day, if not 2 days, and every single day we make sure we do the entire loop of World Showcase, and we do our best, and we're getting better with it. And I know we'll be able to do this even more now that we're down here, and once the parks reopen, we do our absolute best to go in to the pavilions and really spend time in there. Look at the culture, look at all the different stores, look at the different things they're selling, what they have, what they don't have. Talk to the cast members. I think it's the best way for us to really experience those cultures in those countries. We're getting better with that. And I highly recommend it if you can do that because I think you'll enjoy it a lot. James Garcia, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. But the American Adventure is a good show. It's one of the longer shows at 28 minutes. There aren't too many that go that long, unless I'm mistaken. But it's a good show. It definitely is a history lesson for sure. I actually surprised Disney Dan, one of our partner channels. I think it's this show. He actually loves the American Adventure. He thinks it's a really patriotic show and loves it. He says he tries to see it as often as he can. I think it was Dan who said that. I'm 90% sure of that. But he loves it. He thinks it's fantastic. What it reminds me of, just from what I've seen, because you guys are gonna kill me. I actually haven't seen the Hall of Presidents yet. I haven't gone in. Melissa went in, but she fell asleep. Aren't we terrible? But that's what it reminds me of in a lot of ways. It reminds me of the Hall of Presidents, obviously with different things about it. So there's that. But I want to hear from you guys. Um, do you consider it viable to the Hall of Presidents? Would you rather see American Adventure over Hall of Presidents or vice versa? Russ says, I wonder if sometimes people skip the American Pavilion because we are already Americans and it doesn't show America other than barbecue and music at the stage. The American Pavilion is by far, in my opinion, the worst of the pavilions at Walt Disney World. I hate to say it. It really is. There's really nothing there. The shops, there are no shops, very little in the way of shops. Very little in the way of food. You have the one barbecue place, the Regal Eagle, and that's it. Thank God they have the Voices of Liberty and the American Adventure. Otherwise, it would be non-essential to even go there. Even for people from other countries coming here, I don't think it's a great representation of the of America in that pavilion. I don't. I think it could be better. These other pavilions, they've really knocked it out of the park. They didn't do a good job with their home resort. I mean, their home pavilion. And again, that's my opinion. But that's just me. See you later, Walt and Melissa. Burgers are ready. Take care. Thanks, Shelly Starwalker. Have a good day. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it very, very much. I know it's a Friday night, so I appreciate all of you being here. Remember to hit that like button for me, guys. I appreciate that very much. And it's a Friday night, so thank you for spending your time with me. I know Resort TV 1's probably live and a few others, so to be here with us, we definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much. Russ says all of snoozidence puts me to sleep too until the animatronics come out. Yeah, I can't say yet. I haven't done it, but that's what happened to Melissa. James said, I actually always visit both the Hall of Presidents and the American Adventure. That's fantastic, James. Nothing wrong with that. That's what you should do, and we need to do that more often, to be honest. Melissa and I, because we seem to bypass it more than we should. So Eric says he'd prefer the Hall of Presidents. Makes sense. Meredith says when Ronnie was a baby, he was sleeping in his carriage. A cast member took us up in the elevator so we could sit in the cool air conditioning. Ron and Madison saw the show. Wow, how about that? That's pretty neat. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. That's pretty cool. But again, it's a good show, but I don't feel they do a great representation of the pavilion as a whole for us. I just don't. And I think for those that are coming from other countries, it's not a great representation. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think it's a good representation of the U.S. of America? I don't know that I think it is. Russ says they used to have the Colonial Marching Band that played periodically. It seems like just a filler place to put the theater. There are so many international travelers that could see much more. I agree. That's kind of the point I'm making is I think that there's a ton in the United States. Don't get me wrong. There's so many different things, so many places to go. But that being said, I think they could have done it a little bit better. They could have focused a little bit more on New York or California or the Rockies or the Grand Canyon. They could have done more, is all I'm saying. There's different ways that they could have done it. And I wish they would have. But they didn't. And I hate to say it, and it's my home country, but it's my least favorite pavilion of all the pavilions. We very rarely spend a lot of time at the American Pavilion. And thank goodness they have the theater over there, the American Gardens Theater over there to watch the shows and listen to the music, because that's pretty awesome. I do like that. Meredith misses that too, Russ. James says, if you look closely at the crowd inside of the American Pavilion, you see many, many foreign visitors. Well, right, James. Oh, I absolutely agree. You do see a lot of foreign visitors, and that's my point. We should give them a better representation, in my opinion, of our country, because a lot of them are in there and they probably want to learn. Just like we want to learn about their countries in the other pavilions, I feel vice versa. They want to learn about ours. And I don't know that we give them a very good representation of that. Look, you can't cover everything. I get that. You're not going to cover everything. Not at all. But we should cover certain things. And the show does, but what if they don't go see the show? So, just my opinion. Russ says they could go to McDonald's or Walmart and learn more about America. And it's too bad too, because I really, really I want to love it. I want to. I really do. I mean, look, the two things they have in there are really, really good. The Voices of Liberty are a must do every single time. The American Adventure is very, very good. It's forgotten a lot, but it's still a very good show. It's highly recommended. I would highly recommend anybody to go do this show. I don't care who you are. Go do it. If for no other reason, you're gonna get some air conditioning, and the animatronics and the stage itself and what they do with that stage is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love how they do it. I like the Muppets. I like the Muppets too, James. The Muppets are good. They really, really are. And when we get to that one, we'll talk more about the Muppets as well. But I love it. I think it's fantastic. I really, really do. So it's rating time, because we're coming up on 6:30. We're not too far off. And I know it's a Friday night. I want to make sure you guys all are able to go out and do your thing tonight. Anybody got any good plans? Is there anywhere to go? All right, so here we go. My rating, 7 out of 10. I think it's a very good show. There are how you make it better or make it more entertaining probably can't happen. Now, if you want to keep its core reasoning and the reason why it's there, if you want to keep the integrity of the show and why the show was there in the first place, there's really not much you can change about this. But for me, it gets a 7. It's not a must do. We will do it if we're there, if we remember it. But it's not fantastic. It doesn't rate near the top with all the other shows, but it is a very good show, and it's one I do recommend to everybody. So I want to hear from you guys. What are your ratings? Ross says, there's a small little museum inside that has some great rotating displays, a lot of Native American stuff. The flags over the escalator is also cool. Yeah, I agree. Again, there's little things. It doesn't have to be a major nod to it. And all the other countries don't have major nods to their countries either, but they're done really, really well. And not only that, like France, Morocco, Great Britain, Japan, China, you can go way in the back on those. You don't really get that at the American Pavilion. It's kind of all just right here. But that's just me. James gives it a 9. Great score there for him. Ron and Meredith give it an 8. Another great score. Russ says, I'd agree. 7 out of 10 is good. Not much to change with the show. I think it needs more draw from the pavilion. Something. I mean, it definitely does. I mean, they have the one sign out front, but I don't know that it doesn't get the love it probably should. It's a very good show. Eric Newman gives it a 6. Again, I really like it. I was surprised that it had been around since day one. I don't know why. I didn't think it was around since day one. I thought maybe there's different versions of it too. That could be part of it as well. I just didn't feel like it had been around that long. But I guess it has. And it's still going strong. It's still going strong. There are a lot of people that go to watch this show, though. Have you guys noticed that? Have any of you ever gone to this show and it's been and it's not been crowded? It's always crowded. It's never not crowded when we go, which is really, really neat. Just pull up my eCam here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna pull it back up. There we go. I love it too. Rhiannon says she loves it. Amy's giving it an 8 out of 10. Ron Meredith says, I always get choked up when I watch this show. Must be a girl thing. No, not necessarily. It's a patriotic thing. It's a great show. It is an emotional show. I think it is. And I'm glad that you like it. And Rhiannon, she's from Australia and she loves it. So that's great. It is usually pretty full. Yes, I agree. Russ, the one time I did go see it, there was a ton of people that were going in to see that show. So it's popular. People like the show for sure. For sure. Now, I'm going to give you my updated list. Now, the one, I didn't put Tower Terror on this list. I forgot to add it from yesterday. But this is my updated list now. So there's American Adventure right there. Kind of right smack dab in the middle. Let's see if I can move this down a little bit so you guys can see everything. So there they are. American Adventure right there. Lots below it, plenty above it too. It's right in the middle for me, and it really is kind of right in the middle. That's the thing. It's not the best show in the world for me. It's very educational. It's very patriotic. Makes me feel great. But then again, is the purpose of it to be majorly entertaining? In some respects, it is. But I think it's more of a history lesson more than anything else, and it definitely hits it out of the park for that. Cynthia Candy Mom, another one of our members, is here. Cynthia, great to see you. Hope you're doing well. We just did our ranking on American Adventure. So it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So now it's that time, guys, because we are coming up on 6:30, and I don't want to hold you guys for too long today. Jim, more sunshine, please. What's up, Jim? Good to see you, buddy. I want to know from you, Jim. American Adventure, buddy. What do you give it at a 1 out of 10 rating? How do you rank it? How do you rank this show for you? American Adventure. It's a very good show. It got a 7 out of 10 for me. I'm curious what you would give it. Everybody else, lots of 8s, lots of 9s, which is really cool as well. They love it. Lots of people love it, and it's always crowded. But for me, it gets a 7 out of 10. See if Jim can post his time for the poll. Yeah, I know. Exactly. We're getting there. And if you notice, the bucket is it's not as full as it used to be. See, look, it's not as full as it used to be. So I shouldn't be dropping too many at this point. couple more comments here. Let's see. Russ says, I'm trying to think what other IP other than Muppets they could use to add something Pirates, maybe, since that's the route they seem to go with everything now. No, not for that one, they won't. I don't think they'll touch that. I really don't, Russ. I get what you're saying, though, but no, I don't think they will. Cynthia gives it a 10. Good job, Cynthia. Absolutely. And there you go. Jim's right in line with me. He's giving it a 7 out of 10. Again, good show. Not great. I know that sounds un-American. I should say it's a great show. Oh, yes. The scroll at the beginning at the top is really neat, too. I agree with you, Cynthia. That's pretty neat. I didn't realize, one last thing, I got to say this. When I first went in to see this show for the first time, I thought there was going to be a little theater right there. But then you went in the back, and then you went up the escalator, and you went inside into this huge theater that now I just found out seats 1,000. I didn't realize how much space was back there. It's amazing how big that area is. It's just awesome. I couldn't believe it. I looked at Melissa when we went in there, and I was like, wow, look at all this space back here. I didn't realize it went this far back. And it does. It's really neat. It really is neat. And the different statues they have all around the theater. It's beautiful in there for sure. I love it. And I think it's great. All right, guys. So let's choose for tomorrow. Oh, God. I just dropped 4 of them. I just said I wasn't going to drop any of them. And I dropped 4 of them. All right, here we go. I'm not dropping any this time. All right. Here it is. Tomorrow's show. I was shocked how much space, too. Yeah, it really is a ton of space. Oh, we got a good one to talk about tomorrow. You guys see that? Soarin'. My handwriting is terrible. But we're staying in Epcot tomorrow. We're heading over to the Land Pavilion. We're going to talk Soarin' tomorrow. That's going to be a fun show. Man, there's lots to talk about with that. Butterfingers. It's true. I know. Ron says the engineering for all the animatronics is crazy. I think there is something on Disney Plus about it. Wow, interesting. Very interesting. Club 33 was the old Visa Lounge. Interesting. Yeah, didn't know that either. But pretty awesome. Guys, thank you for joining me. Again, real fast, a couple notes. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, you have Disney Fiasco. Check out Dan. He's going to be great. I'll be here tomorrow at 6. Just before him with Soarin'. We'll talk another daily Disney discussion. Tomorrow at 8, Steve and I talking Disney Spring, Shanghai Disney, maybe some NFL scheduling as well. We'll see how things go. But we have a lot going on. And then next week, next Tuesday, big night for Melissa on Disanity. She's having girls' night. It's ladies' night. She's going to have a few special guests with her. They're going to be talking their favorite Disney snacks and other stuff too. Be sure to check them out for that. That's going to be a ton of fun. Melissa's on her own. She's going to do great. I can't wait to see the show. I hope you guys can join us for that. She'll have some special guests with her. It's going to be a ton of fun. Love the Land Pavilion. Me too, Rhiannon. Absolutely. Good job, Walt. Thank you, G. Wilson. I appreciate that. But lots coming up now. Steve's World as well, our other partner channel, goes live on Mondays. Check him out. And Dean over at the Live Place. Thank you. But to all of our members, again, as usual, thank you all for your generosity. And everyone else, thank you so much for spending your time with me. It means the world to me, especially on a Friday night when you could be out with family and friends. Well, I guess you could. Maybe not. Maybe you're still in quarantine. But I hope you guys enjoy this show. I enjoy it. It's a lot to do every single day to get ready for it. But you know what? You guys are what make it so much fun. And that's why I love doing it, because I get to interact with you. And a lot of you have been here since day one for this show, and it means the world to me that you're here as often as you are, because it's not the best time. A lot of people coming home from work, getting dinner ready, getting the kids ready, doing this, doing that. So I appreciate all of you jumping in when you do. It definitely means the world to me. And thank you. I appreciate it, James. Means a lot, buddy. I appreciate that. Russ, last word says, Melissa, now it's your turn to make fun of Walt when he's off camera. Exactly. She probably will. I'm sure she will. But guys, everybody have a great day. Please take care of yourselves and each other. I appreciate that, Rhiannon. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. But guys, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll talk to you tomorrow when we talk Soaring. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are there. Bring your friends. Until next time, Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll talk to you all really, really soon. Bye bye.